Anime as we know it today would not exist without...
Don't lose your way.
Don't believe me? Studio Gainax, which includes the creator of a little series called Neon Genesis Evangelion, got their start by effectively creating the anime girl bunny suit. They started all of this, and then they went on to make what basically became the prototype for one of the most influential anime ever made. We're talking about Evangelion. Gunbuster! Gunbuster is a legitimately interesting anime about interdimensional war into the cruel passage of time. Guess what it's remembered for? Its exploration of the human psyche? No. Its realistic use of modern physics? No. What about a different kind of physics? The jiggly kind. Gunbuster was, an innovator of anime titty jiggle physics. And that's what led to this, and all of this. And that's not even mentioning all of the fan service within Eva itself. No fan service, no Eva. No Eva, and who knows what the anime industry would look like today.
I hate Evangelion. It's the most overrated anime of all time.
Well, it's a good thing that's not the only talking point.
This is what it does. It appeals to like the male fantasy.
No matter how you feel about yourself, I still love you.
After pouring hours and hours into research, I can safely say
that every time I close my eyes now I see anime panties.
I can safely say yes.
That is the point. The purpose of fiction is to appeal to fantasy. Don't worry, ladies and others. It's not like you've been forgotten, but I will admit, anime does disproportionately sexualize females. And the reasoning for that is supply and demand.
Why is it all boys are idiots and so horny all of the time?
What did I do?
Listen, you can't exactly control what people want. I mean, I guess you can, but things are definitely leveling out. The most popular modern shonen, Jujutsu Kaisen, is known for... Correct! It's hot male characters. I am right there with you, ladies.
Jesus Christ.
There's pretty much no argument to be made these days about the lack of well-written female characters. You would have to be insane to argue otherwise, which doesn't stop people. That being the case, why waste energy caring about this male fantasy bullshit? Okay, listen, this is the only time these guys ever get to interact with the opposite sex, so just let them have it. That was a joke, by the way.
It's funny because it's true.
But fan service is everywhere, even where it doesn't make sense, and it distracts from the plot. And on those points, I actually agree. Fan service is not its own sentient being. It is a literary device. It can be used well, it can be used very well, it can definitely be overused, and it can be used terribly. Sex. Sex and sexual imagery are everywhere. That is not limited to anime.
All right?
From cheerleaders to Abercrombie models to the 10 million trashy Netflix series that your sister watches. The point is that it's part of life. Why demonize it? More importantly, why demonize specifically anime? Even if you really hate fan service, it is not that invasive. Anime is a vast medium. Believe it or not, there are more than just the major shonen, which, for your information, are aimed specifically at young boys. So like, stop getting upset about shit like Fairy Tail and Naruto. And check out some of these. Have you tried Fruits Basket? I've heard it's the twilight of anime.
minors.
No, not that way.
Minors.
Yeah. Anime fan service, Doctor disrespects minors.
You gotta be kidding me. Fucking
Porn dog.
Oh yeah, because anime is so much worse than Western live action series.
Okay, it is not my fault that Yoko Littner was arbitrarily aged 14.
But yeah, there is this thing called lolicon. It is bad, but it's also not real. But you can pretty easily avoid lolicon. And this video is not about that. This conversation's been had so many fucking times. Just yap. One of the earliest recorded examples of sexual advertising was Duke & Son cigarettes in 1885. They would put these, Can we even show that? These cigarette cartons came with risque trading cards. Basically, it was the first ever waifu gacha game. And it worked.
What a fucked up.
Duke became the #1 American cigarette by 1890. And if it worked for cigarettes, it can work for anime. Manga covers, uncensored DVDs, figures, other memorabilia. Fan service generates so much revenue for the anime industry, it is absurd. Just ask Ufotable how they got their budget. Love is War. You like Love is War, right? Of course you do. Everybody likes Love is War. Love is War released an exclusive OVA, bundled with the 22nd volume of its manga. The OVA was basically just fan service. And guess what? That quarter sold 500,000 units, more than any other before or since. As long as you don't include the final volume, which is cheating. And this bundling of fan service with stuff is a pretty common strategy for series to generate that extra little bit of income. Kind of like your English teacher with an OnlyFans. Without fan service, we wouldn't have nearly the same quality or quantity of anime that we enjoy today. And that's not even including the There is literally an entire genre of anime dedicated to fan service. That prototype for Evangelion? Ecchi. No Game No Life? Also ecchi. I don't really think it should count, but Mushoku Tensei? Ecchi. Here's my favorite popular ecchi, and the lesser known one. Sorry, but you guys know that some people really wanted those lists. But fan service is so profitable that it created ecchi. And ecchi, in essence, is the manifestation of fan service becoming its own art form. Do you ever wonder why genitals are always censored in Japanese porn? Japan's hardcore censorship of art goes as far back as the 17th century Edo period, that famous period with like samurais and shit. Although back then the main goal for censorship was to control things like religion or criticism of the shogunate, sexual depictions in art were more or less a casualty. More relevant to this video is the 1907 revision to Japan's criminal code, Article 175, which banned the selling, distribution, or displaying of obscene content, which is kind of vague if you ask me, punishable by up to 2 years in prison for a drawing.
It gave me a rock hard.
Following World War II, things got better. And while what's considered obscene has loosened considerably, and enforcement has dwindled, the law and its effects on Japanese culture remain to this day. Fan service is an act of rebellion against this law and Japan's shaming culture. I am being 100% serious here. Fan service plays an important role in the Japanese freedom of expression. It even jumpstarts careers. You have no idea how many writers and animators, voice actors too, got their start with ecchi or even hentai, usually hentai, both for its profitability and because of a personal passion. Trust me, I would know. Plus, anime's blunt and goofy ways of handling fan service is an aspect of what makes anime anime. It's a talking point for fans. It allows for absurd premises and scenes. And at the end of the day, it's just fun. Wanting the complete annihilation of all fan service is not just, most likely, hypocritical, but it would also just make things fucking boring. And if, after all of that, you still think that all fan service is evil and useless, well, that's just willful ignorance. But for everyone else with an IQ above room temperature that can recognize the good, the bad, and the ugly, you guys are cool. Almost as cool as me.